Everybody, so today I'm going to continue with additional vectors and shall look at example number 3, which says that Q and R are in the same plane with position vectors Q, which is 2 4, and R is 13 0. Find the lengths QR, full stop. Then they're saying that S is the midpoint of QR, so they want us to find the coordinates of S, knowing that S is the midpoint of QR. So let us look at the solution. So since we know that QR, we can have a sketch, a simple sketch here, which is this one here. We can have our Q. This is going to be Q and this is going to be R. So in other words, so this is assuming that this is our origin and this is our R. So in simple terms, QR, so when we want to move QR, which is this point, is the same thing as QO, then plus OR, we have reached to QR. So this one here is the same thing as the displacement QR, moving from Q going to R. So in simple terms, our QR is the same thing as the QO, then plus OR. So we know that we don't have our QO, but QO is the same thing as OQ, but in a negative direction. So for simple terms, our QO is the same thing as negative of what? Negative of OQ, then plus OR. So for that case, we can now substitute our OQ, which is going to be negative of what? OQ they gave us. It's supposed to be 2 4, then plus OR, which is supposed to be 13 0. So for that case, we can now solve. Since a negative is scalar and we know that a scalar multiplies whatever it is in the brackets, so it is going to be negative 2 negative 4, then plus going to be 13 0. So when we add negative 2, we shall add x coordinates together and also add the y coordinates together. Shall have negative 2 plus 13, then also negative 4 plus what? Plus 0. So for that case, when we add, we have something like 11, then negative 4 plus 0, that is negative 4. So what we have got is our QR. But also they want us to find the lengths, and you know that the lengths is the same thing as the modulus and the same thing as magnitude, which is given as the x squared plus y squared. So for this case, we'll have something like the root of 11, but what squared, then plus negative 4, but everything what squared. So when we solve, it is going to be, what is the square root of 11? That is going to be 121, then plus negative 4 squared, which is going to be 16. So we shall have the root of 121 plus 16, and automatically that one gives us 137. Since we don't have units, we can conclude by saying that it's what? It's units. Okay, so for that case, they want us to find, they said that S is the midpoint of QR. Let us sketch our diagram here. We can sketch a little bit in order to find our S. So let us sketch again. Assuming that they said that our S is the midpoint of Q. So assuming that this is my Q here, so I will move from this point, and assuming that this is my R, which is going to be here. So S is the midpoint of R, so this is going to be my S, and this one is going to be my Q. So if this is my origin from, they want OS, they want this OS here, which is going to be this point OS. Remember, this is OQ. So to get OS, someone can pass through OQ, someone may move from OQ, which is this distance here, then plus QS. Or another person can move from OR, then plus what? Plus QR. So any distance you move, any direction you move will give you the same answer, but for my case, I'm going to move from OQ to OS. Okay, so to get OS, the same thing as the OQ, then plus the QS. So I have my OQ, and I got my OQ as 2, 4. But I don't have QS, but now our QS here, since it is in the midpoint of QR, so QS is going to be a half of QR, so which is going to be plus a half of QR. So for that case, I will now solve. I have my QR, which I got it earlier, so it is going to be 2, 4, then plus a half of QR, and QR is going to be given as we got it as 11, negative 4. So since a half is a scalar and the scalar multiplies everything in the bracket, so we shall have that is 2, 4, then plus a half times 11, then also a half times negative 4. So we shall now add the x coordinates together. That is going to be 2, then plus half times negative 11, that is 5.5, then also 4 plus a half times negative 4, which is going to be negative what? Negative 2. So when we add, we'll have something like saying 2 plus 5.7, that is 7.5, then also 4 plus negative 2 will have something like 2. So this is in terms of column vectors. Let us let them in terms of coordinates, meaning that our S, the midpoint of QR, is going to be the same thing as 7.5, 2. Okay. Thank you so much. So you can try this one here, example 4, as part of your exercise. So we shall continue from there. If God wishes, I wish you a nice day. Thank you so much for listening. I remain teacher Amulan.